What's going on, everyone? So, with Andrew Wiggins likely going into Miami Heat for the start of the season and him kind of being off the table momentarily, wouldn't be shocked if that changes, right? We're 3 months away from training camp, right? So teams aren't in a rush to get deals done. Teams aren't in a rush to make trades. It's like, hey, if you want this guy now, it's going to cost you. Where if you wait closer to training camp, all of a sudden those prices start to change. The example that I usually use is the Utah Jazz trade. Now, that didn't happen until the trade deadline, but if you were following that along, you saw they wanted everything in the kitchen sink. Then it became like everything, and you can kind of protect the kitchen sink. And then it became like, all right, fine, you can leave the kitchen sink, but we want everything. Right? Then you saw that progress. So maybe as they get closer to training camp, all of a sudden Miami starts to drop their price or is kind of willing to work a little bit more. I wouldn't be shocked if you hear as we get, a month or so from now that like, hey, Lakers and Miami have re-engaged in conversations, because it's usually how it works. But in the meantime, I'd love to see the Lakers go and take looks at other players, other guys. I think that there's a couple guys in free agency, but also trades that I think that make a lot of sense for the Lakers. And one team I would shift to is the Portland Trailblazers, right? Now, obviously, if you can get Robert Williams and all that stuff, like that would be great. But to me, the two guys I'm targeting more than anybody, Matisse Thybulle, right, and Toumani Camara. Those two guys are the two guys that I think the Lakers need more than anything. Again, I would love a Robert Williams. Right? I'd prefer Robert Williams as your primary backup over Jackson Hayes. The thing is, with Robert Williams, is we just can't trust him. Like, is he going to play 20 games or is he going to play 35 games, right? Because he's not a guy that plays a bunch of games. So instead of using your assets or doing whatever you have to do in order to get like a Matisse Thybulle and a Robert Williams, I'd rather you just say keep Robert Williams, get a Matisse Thybulle, because I don't think he's going to be expensive. He's on an expiring, right? He's 28 years old. Not that that's old, but he's not 22 where you wanted to grow and develop. Plus they have several guys already that are going to slot in and play the same positions and whatnot. So it makes sense for Portland to kind of look to get off of that. And then Toumani Camara is another guy that I would love to see the Lakers go and acquire. Right? He's a guy that is 25 years old. He just turned 25. He is exactly what this team needs as far as like size, length, athleticism, and defense out on the perimeter. But he's not so good that it's like you would have to sell the farm to get. Like, I think he's a reasonable get that still has plenty of upside and potential, but he's also kind of slotted in a weird way on Portland, right? Where I think he would actually be better on the Lakers. Not that he's bad in Portland by any stretch, right? He's been very good in Portland, but he's not out there looking like an OG, right? He's not out there looking like, in Andrew Wiggins or something like that, right? Like, he's a guy that is showing the progress, that is showing the youthfulness. He's coming off of a good season, right? But there's still, I believe, a lot of progress that can still be had with him. I think he's a guy that, again, slots in beautifully. You could start him at your starting three. Probably go with Matisse Thybulle, right? Probably go with Thybulle just because he has the experience. Slot him in there. And then go with Camara off the bench as kind of that 3-and-D wing for you. Now, he's not going to be cheap. He is good enough, right? I don't want to undersell him, but he's good enough to where it's going to cost you, right? So to me, if you're going to have to give up, a first-round pick, Dalton Connect, and Rui Hachimura to go and land an Andrew Wiggins, I'd rather take a package like that and try to go get, like I said, a Matisse Thybulle and a Camara. If you can get Camara and Thybulle, I think now you're talking about adding two guys that really kind of help and solve what you're looking for, particularly out on the perimeter on this team that has the offense. You don't need the offense. Also, Camara's cheap for the next 2 years, making $2.2 million plus $2.4 million the following season, right? And Matisse Thybulle is making, so between the two of them, talking about sending out, call it $15 million. It's less than that, it's like 14 and some change, but let's call it $15 million. It's very easy for the Lakers to do. Very easy, right? So to me, could you do something like could you even clear salary if, they're willing to kind of work with you here? Because you could do something like a Dalton Connect and Gabe Vincent's making 11.5, right? So I get you to like 16 million, kind of clear a couple million, waive Shake Milton. That would get you basically clear, roughly 5 and some change total, which would free up your full, biannual exception, right? And then now all of a sudden, you have some moves to make. But even if it's just something like I'd like to keep Rui if you can, like just because I think Rui is a guy that you can then go flip elsewhere, unless they really want Rui. Which I mean, if you can get Camara and get a Matisse Thybulle, I would do it. Right? Like I would look to make that happen. To me, again, Camara is worth the prize, right? Like I think he's a guy that has like real, like, hey, this guy could be one of the better 3-and-D guys in the league if given the real opportunity, right? You're already starting to see that progress. You're already starting to see him stand out. He's a guy 6'7", 6'8", 230, and he's got the size, the athleticism, the versatility out there, a guy that can slot in and defend 1 through 4 for you on many nights, right? And then add in a Matisse Thybulle, who again gives you that kind of point of attack guard that can defend big because of his wingspan and his size, that can defend, again, 1 through 3. So I think if you can land both of those guys, I think that would be kind of ideal. But you look at Camara, what has he done? Again, second year, he came in the league at 23, right? So he's still on his rookie contract. But last year, 78 games played, 78 games started, 32.7 minutes per game, took 9.2 field goal attempts per game. He shot 45.8% from the floor, from three-point range, shot 37.5% on 4.6 attempts, right, which is really good. Now, he is for his career 36% because the previous year on 2.5 attempts shot 33.7%. Now, two-point range, 54.2% on 4.6 attempts, EFG of 55.2%, free throw shooting, 72.2%, rebounding, 6 rebounds. He is an excellent rebounder, which is very good, right? That's what you want to see. Guy that can rebound the basketball. 2.2 assists, 1.5 steals, and we'll round up to a full block, including 11.3 points per game. Now, again, he is very good already. Plenty of growth upside and potential for a team like the Lakers, that I think he's a guy that slots in beautifully. Now you just add another, 6'8" guy, versatile wing to, a Duthero and all that. Again, I don't want to undersell Camara, but he's young. He's in the second season, right? So he's not this he's not looked at as this star 3-and-D guy yet. Now, again, he could get there, and again, for going in his third year, he's kind of an older guy for a third year. He's still young, but for usually guys 25, they've been in the league, 6 years. So things like that, I think, could potentially, you could kind of use the leverage in order to get him cheaper than, again, like an Andrew Wiggins or something like that. If you can get Thybulle and Camara, I'd be willing to give up, you want Connect, you want, like I said, a Gabe Vincent or something like that, or, if you had to do Rui, if I can get Camara, I'd probably do Rui too. If they wanted Rui, which supposedly they did. Remember, they wanted Rui. Rui was a must-have in the potential Jeremy Grant trade, which I'm glad the Lakers didn't go through with. But Rui Hachimura was a guy that that they really wanted. So do they still want that? Because you could just do Rui. If you could do Rui in a first and keep Connect, right, and then trade Connect later in another trade, you'd clear off $3 million off your books, right? Or $3.5 million off your books. And then again, waive Shake Milton to kind of bring on both guys. So you can waive Shake Milton, send out Rui Hachimura, you clear off the salary that you need, but then you'd still have to do a consolidation trade. So if it's me, I'd probably try to can I give you Dalton Connect? Connect is a year younger than Camara. So it's hey, and you have several guys that are kind of playing the role of Camara. So all those things I think will be kind of interesting to see how that plays out, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind. What are they going to do with Jeremy Grant and so on and so forth. But you look at Matisse Thybulle. I want to get into Matisse Thybulle real quick. Again, 28 years old. He won't be 29 till basically the middle towards end of the season next season. But he's a guy that, again, 6'5", 6'6", can defend 1 through 3. He's got the insane wingspan to where he can even not a guy you want defending most 4s and 5s, but if he gets switched on him, he can hold his own. He's a guy that, you hear me talk about defending bigger at times, right? Alex Cruz was a guy that is known to defend bigger, right? Lou Dort can defend bigger. A guy like Matisse Thybulle can defend bigger, right? So he's a guy that I'd really like to kind of see slot in. Again, if you want to go, I mean, in a perfect world, you go Luka, Thybulle, Camara, LeBron, and Ayton. That's what I would do. But Lakers are probably going to go with a Austin Reeves in the starting lineup. So to me, I'd probably go with Matisse Thybulle. Camara, I mean, he started all 78 games last year, but it's one thing to be on Portland. It's another thing to be on a team like the Lakers. Again, he's still developing. He's still kind of getting his game under him. But Matisse Thybulle, again, excellent defender, 6'11" wingspan, so nearly 7-foot wingspan. Just gives you that size, length, and versatility. But as far as production, problem is, again, his health. His health is the biggest issue with him. Last year, 15 games, 21 minutes per game, shot 47.7% from the field on 6 attempts. 3.5 attempts came from three-point range on 44%, or just under 44%. Now, he did the previous year shoot 35%, but the year before that shot 39% on 4 attempts. 2-point range, 52.5%, EFG of 59.7%. Free throw shooting. Terrible free throw shooter last year on 1 attempt, 46.7%. He is a career half an attempt guy, so he's not like a big, taking a bunch of free throws a game, which is good because he's a career 66% guy. 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.2 steals, and we'll round up to a full block, 7.5 points. If you can get those two, go get those two. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.